24 hours with JB. Let's talk. What up, y'all? How we feeling? Listen, man. Let's do this. Shout out to Brownsville, man. Shout out to Brownsville. I was in the Ville earlier, and I had a very, very insightful conversation with a giant, right? Giant making major moves, right? And I'm just seeing how if you believe in yourself, if you stay focused, and if you keep integrity at the integrity at the forefront of everything that you do, you will rise above the occasion as well as supersede your expectations or your goals for that matter, right? And with that being said, I find myself leveling up, but not the way in which I thought, right? Because it's like us as human beings, we have these thoughts, these fantasies, these dreams that we envision, dream about, etc. And when they don't go the way in which we planned and or dreamed, sometimes that could deter us from where we're striving to go in life and or where we think we should be. But you got to remember, beloved, there's a plan for all of us, right? We're all special beings, especially since we made it through that, let's say, doorway, right? My fingers in quotation marks. You know what I mean? Want to keep it clean. But basically, we made it as a sperm droplet into an egg, and you know what happened after that. So thus, when you think about the numbers, even from that perspective, millions of other sperms or whatever that number may be, or those numbers may be, and you made it to be that special individual, you see how you were destined to do this from day one. That's essentially what I wanted to say. Part itself is if it was long-winded. And with that being said, I'm now just striving to morph into what I feel the higher power wants me to morph into, as well as I'm intentional. The difference with this particular Jaquan businessman Bailey is he's intentional. I don't make a move unless it's calculated. You understand what I'm saying? What do you mean by that? Watch this. So, I just put ice cubes into a drink, right? And what do we do after that? Okay, so this particular beverage comes from where? Where does it come from? Shameless plug. Have you on the investments. So, Bismillah. I got this particular drink from Walmart, right? Ticker symbol WMT. Again, ticker symbol WMT. And Walmart is moving down, actually. They pay a nice dividend as well. Bismillah. But again, heavy on investment, shameless plug. But again, the reason why I mentioned Walmart and or why I buy this particular beverage from Walmart is because I own the stock, right? Which essentially means what? I own the company. So why wouldn't I increase my company's bottom line, right? Why wouldn't I buy a beverage from a company in which I own, who also happens to pay a dividend, who also happens to be recession proof? Have you ever heard of Walmart? Have you ever been to Walmart? Right? But see, the difference is the average individual is on the consumer side, as well as myself, right? But I make sure I invest. If my wife spends $300 in Walmart today, I'm going to put at least $25 in Walmart tomorrow to balance it out. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I mean by being intentional, beloved. You want to be as intentional as possible. Now, for me, obviously, I'm an investor, so thus I'm intentional when it comes to purchasing products such as, look, okay, so it's healthy for one, right? For two, where did I get this from? Where did I get this from? Take a wild guess while I take a bite. I'll tell you. I got it from Costco. Costco. Ticker symbol COST. They also pay a dividend. They are also recession proof. Excuse me. Shameless plug. Have you done investments? But with that being said, I'm just showing you all how, not just how I move, but how one should move, right? This is what being a boss is about, right? This is what leveling up is about, beloved. You want to be intentional every time. You want to be on the investor side of things opposed to the consumer side of things. Now, granted, we all consume. If there's no consumption, the economy won't thrive, right? And essentially there will be anarchy, right? We don't want anarchy. We want a thriving economy, right? We want for the recession indicators to be as far as possible so that, again, the economy thrives and we all eat. But that's another conversation for another time. At any rate, with that being said, again, beloved, be as intentional as possible. In life, whatever you do, make sure what you're doing on a daily basis aligns with what your ultimate goal is, right? And every now so often, reevaluate those goals and see how close and or how far you are away from that particular goal. Or those goals being plural, right? Ultimately, your success and where you stand in life is up to you. As long as you're still here, as long as you're still breathing, beloved, you can make it over the top, right? Success is closer than you think, right? It's only one roadblock between you and success, and that roadblock, ironically, is what? You. The only reason why I don't have $1 million, $1 billion, because I haven't figured it out yet. But once you start cracking those codes, right? Once you start becoming, again, intentional, you begin to see things with a, let's say, naked eye, right? You begin to overstand where you went wrong in the past and why it is that you don't have the million, billion, or $1 trillion today. Whew. And with that being said, beloved, pardon me. Wait a minute. Here's the plug. Have you on the investments, first and foremost. This is Target. I got these from Target. They're pretty healthy too. Good chips. My kids love them. I got it from Target. Wait a minute. Target, yes. Ticker symbol TGT. Again, TGT. I own the stock, beloved. And they pay me a dividend. And another thing about dividends that people, I'm gonna post my, I just received a dividend from Target, about $34.03. If I had to, there's people starving up there. If I had to guess, right? And with that being said, a lot of people don't know when you receive dividends, it increases on a quarterly basis, usually quarterly basis. Some different companies pay dividends semi-annually, annually, if it tends to fluctuate. But typically when a company pays dividends, right, they typically pay on a quarterly basis. And that dividend payment only increases the longer that you hold the stock. So what do? I go to Whole Foods, right? I tell wife, if you want a snack, go to Whole Foods. Why is that? You ever heard of Amazon? I own the company. Ticker symbol AMZN. Again, ticker symbol AMZN. Excuse the crunch. If you don't take anything else from this video, beloved, take this. Be intentional in every single move that you make and invest. Have you on investments. Stay tuned.